रशिया ने इन्वेड किया यूक्रेन को, तो दीज टू कंट्रीज वर टॉप प्रोड्यूसर्स एंड एक्सपोर्टर्स ऑफ व्हीट। इस बार है एप्रीहेंशंस है एल नीनियो का।
फर्स्ट ईयर कोई भी न्यूज़ देखता हूँ, सबको इलेक्शंस, हिंदू मुस्लिम, केरला स्टोरी, दिस दैट एंड दैट्स ऑल।
Journalism is expensive, and what you get to see at 9 o'clock every night is not journalism. There are people who are masquerading as journalists, there are people who are masquerading as experts, and the kind of people come on these shows, I think they also do not know about what's going on to this absolutely absurd debates. Or do you want to practice real journalism?
Your friend said that there is a microchip in that rupees note. जब वो बंडल करेंगे साथ में वो GPS से सिग्नल जाए।
Welcome to the Urban Yogi Club.
हाँ जी मयंक जी, रॉयटर्स से।
Hi, yeah.
तो यूके वाली मैगजीन है।
Back भी नहीं है, ये न्यूज़ एजेंसी है, and Reuters is the world's oldest news agency.
तो ये लेफ्ट बातें होने वाली, राइट बातें होने वाली कि या सेंट्रिक बातें होंगी?
Neither left nor right. We stand right in the middle of the road.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen, स्वागत है दोस्तों का to the Urban Yogi Club. This is your host Akshay Pathania and we have Mayank Bharadwaj today, senior journalist, Raconteur. How do you say that? Raconteur?
Raconteur, yeah. We are storytellers. हम कहानियाँ सुनाते हैं.
Yeah, the Raconteur at Reuters. And such a great honor to have you here, sir. Thanks so
much. Pleasure being here.
All right, so India is time crazy है केरला स्टोरी के बारे में, कर्नाटक इलेक्शन के बारे में. Why are you so bothered about monsoons? You have been publishing so much about it recently. Monsoons was a big deal. आता रहता है ना? I don't know.
True. Food is very important, right? Food के बिना
जाते हैं दिन स्टोर में लेते हैं पैकेट.
क्योंकि अगर हम थोड़े से if we try to instill a bit of sense of history here, एक टाइम था और ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं हुआ है, इंडिपेंडेंस की बात है, अराउंड 7 decades ago. एक हमारे फूड मिनिस्टर हुआ करते थे दिल्ली में, के.वी. थॉमस उनका नाम था, और वो हमसे एक बार बातें कर रहे थे. उन्होंने कहा कि जिस दिन हमें इंडिपेंडेंस मिला था उस दिन there were 2 important headlines in the papers. One was India gains independence and the other was India is struggling to secure critical food supplies, and हम कैसे US के पास जाते थे import के लिए, और बहुत ही difficult situation था, hand to mouth imports था, लोगों के पास खाने को नहीं था. उसके बाद I don't know if you remember बांग्लादेश वॉर के टाइम में भी हुआ था, और उसके पहले भी जब क्लैशेस हुए थे, जब लाल बहादुर शास्त्री प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे, उन्होंने कहा था इंडियंस को कि आप एक मील स्किप करें टू इंश्योर कम से कम 2 टाइम का खाना मिले.
वो इंटरमीडिएट फास्टिंग की बात कर रहे थे, एक्चुअली उनका था वो फिट करना चाहते थे इंडियंस.
नहीं, उस समय तो वो फूड इंटेक इतना कम था, कैलोरी डेफिशिएंसी इतनी ज़्यादा थी कि लोग मैल नरिश थे इंडिया में. तो
मुझे लगा उन्होंने दिए कॉन्सेप्ट में इंटरमीडिएट.
ये तो अभी रिसेंट है, एंड दैट टू इज दिस फॉर वन सेक्शन. जो एफ्लुएंट इंडियंस हैं, ये उनको प्रॉब्लम है कि कैलोरी ज़्यादा लेते हैं, तो दे नीड टू कट डाउन ऑन फूड to become fit, but we have come a long way. Food dependency से food self-sufficiency से हम food surplus में आ चुके हैं. But then अगर 2 साल हमारा प्रोडक्शन अच्छा ना हो, the risk is we might go back to the same earlier situation. और इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती है गरीब लोगों को.
बट गवर्नमेंट क्लेम करती है कि हमारे पास अराउंड 10 years तक का स्टोरेज है. सो इज दैट हवा में बातें वाला स्टफ या रियलिटी में वैसा कुछ है? हम स्टोरेज देते हैं?
नहीं, सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी तो है. हम बहुत सारा फूड प्रोडक्ट्स हम एक्सपोर्ट भी करते हैं, बट हमने देखा अभी लास्ट 2 years में काफ़ी सारे एक्सपोर्ट पे कर्ब्स आए, बैन आए. इंडिया वाज इंपोर्टिंग अ लॉट ऑफ व्हीट. आपको याद होगा लास्ट ईयर शायद काफ़ी बातें हो रही थी जब रशिया ने इन्वेड किया यूक्रेन को. So these 2 countries were top producers and exporters of wheat. वहाँ से सप्लाईज कम हो गया, ग्लोबल प्राइसेस बहुत बढ़ गए. हमारे पास थोड़ा सा सरप्लस था, तो हमारे यहाँ से काफ़ी एक्सपोर्ट हुआ, काफ़ी ऊंचे दामों पे. जब हम एक्सपोर्ट कर ही रहे थे तो सडनली टेम्परेचर्स बढ़ गए. उससे हमारा जो बिल्कुल क्रॉप तैयार था वो अफेक्टेड हो गया, क्रॉप यील्ड्स हिट हो गए, प्रोडक्शन फोरकास्ट जो है वो कट करना पड़ा और फिर एक्सपोर्ट बैन करना पड़ा। सो और उसके बाद ये तो लास्ट विंटर की कहानी है। फिर समर में, लास्ट समर में राइस प्रोडक्शन हिट हो गया हमारा, क्योंकि मानसून रेन्स वे पैची इन ईस्टर्न इंडिया, जहाँ जो मेजर राइस बेल्ट है। तो फिर राइस एक्सपोर्ट से भी कर्व आ गए। तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट प्रोडक्शन इज। अगर ये हर एक साल
और अब एल नीनो, व्हाट इज एल नीनो, मतलब दैट इज व्हाट आई वांट टू नो। एल नीनो ऐसी क्या बवासीर है जो इंडिया को इतना इम्पैक्ट करेंगी आने वाले टाइम?
ये हमारे जो पैसिफिक ओशन में टेम्परेचर बढ़ जाता है, तो उससे एडवर्स इम्पैक्ट होता है हमारे मानसून पे। रेन्स यहाँ कम हो जाते हैं। तो आफ्टर 4 straight years ऑफ गुड मानसून रेन्स, इस बार है एप्रीहेंशंस है एल नीनियो का, कि एल नीनियो डेवलप होगा, जिससे हमारे मानसून रेन्स वीक होंगे, और हमारे मानसून रेन्स वीक होंगे तो इट हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ रिपरकशन।
दिल्ली में तो अभी 2 दिन पहले बारिश हो रही थी। यू थिंक मानसून वीक होने वाले हैं? आई थिंक
अभी तो मानसून आया भी नहीं है। फॉरगेट अबाउट दिल्ली, मानसून तो अभी इंडिया में नहीं आया है। सो मानसून केरला में आता है, एंड बाय द टाइम इट कम्स टू दिल्ली, काफ़ी कंट्रीज के मेजर एग्रीकल्चरल बेल्ट्स को ये कवर कर चुका होता है, तो दिल्ली में आता है। एंड दिल्ली इज़ नॉट अ मेजर एग्रीकल्चरल हब। तो और यहाँ बारिश ट्रेडिशनली कम भी होती है, इवन मानसून सीजन में भी। तो बट एनीवे, अभी जो रेंज की आप बात कर रहे थे, तो वो तो मानसून से उसका कोई रिलेशन है ही नहीं।
अच्छा अच्छा, वो कुछ और वो कुछ और बारिश और वो छोटी मोटी
रिस्पाइट मिल गया हीट से, तो बस वही है।
वो बहुत बढ़िया। तो ये मानसून अब आ रहा है, दिस इज अफेक्टिंग क्रॉप्स, अफेक्टिंग रिलेटेड टू वेदर। अभी गवर्नमेंट को किस तरह से इम्पैक्ट करेगा? हाउ डू यू रिलेट दिस, सिंस यू वर प्रीटी into the subject, so how do you impact, and as a country हमें कैसे impact करेगा, as a government कैसे impact करेगा in the upcoming 2-3 months? Is that something of a worry, or is that something we can push for later purposes?
नो, इट्स अ मेजर कंसर्न। ये गवर्नमेंट के लिए काफ़ी बड़ा हेडेक हो जाता है फॉर एनी गवर्नमेंट। इट बिकम्स क्वाइट चैलेंजिंग अगर मौसम फेल होता है तो। इट बिकम्स चैलेंजिंग बिकॉज ऑफ 2-3 रीजंस। ए, आपका प्रोडक्शन कम हो जाता है। प्रोडक्शन कम हो जाता है तो प्राइसेस बढ़ने लगते हैं, फूड इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ जाता है।
So what shortages can we expect in upcoming 2 or 3 months? जो आपने वेदर अभी देखा है, अभी मानसून को इम्पैक्ट होने वाला है, सो आपके प्रिडिक्शन के हिसाब से एज पर योर डिस्कशन एंड इनसाइट इनटू इट, कुछ बताइए उस बारे में। उसमें मेजर चैलेंज आने वाला है।
लास्ट 70 years में इंडिया में 15 times एल नीनियो देखा गया है मानसून सीजन में। एंड आउट ऑफ दोज 15 times, 6 times ये ज़्यादा 6 times ही मानसून जो है वो नॉर्मल रहा है। सो गोइंग बाय एंड ऑफ लेट इन द लास्ट 4 years, 3-4 years, ये जो कोरिलेशन है एल नीनियो का मानसून को और प्रोनाउंस हो गया है, तो चैलेंजिंग लगता है। But then it's a weather phenomena, so हमें देखना होगा how it pans out. But आपने challenges की बात पूछी थी, तो एक तो है कि प्रोडक्शन सेम लेवल पे रहे। एक तो ये चैलेंज है। अगर प्रोडक्शन कम होता है तो फिर फूड इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ जाता है। फूड इन्फ्लेशन इंडिया में 50% ऑफ कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स CPI का 50% है। ओवरऑल इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ जाता है। एंड as you know, poor people spend more on food than we city dwellers do, so indirectly hits them, and it makes the government unpopular, right? And it also makes it prone to attack by opposition parties. तो आपको inflation manage करना है, आपको food inflation manage करना है, आपको ensure करना है कि जो गरीब तबका है उन्हें दिक्कत ना हो अपने खाने के प्राइसेस को लेके। फिर आपको एक्सपोर्ट्स भी देखना है, बिकॉज एक्सपोर्ट्स हेल्प यू अर्न फॉरेन एक्सचेंज। एक्सपोर्ट्स ऑल्सो हेल्प यू कैश इन ऑन गुड प्राइसेस ओवरसीज। एंड एक आप जब स्टेबल सप्लायर बन जाते हैं किसी भी फूड प्रोडक्ट के, तो वो आपसे उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप कंसिस्टेंटली एक्सपोर्ट करते रहें, ऑन ऑफ ना हो।
अब आप जितनी भी बातें कर रहे इस बारे में, it cannot overtake this Kerala story media storm that is going on in this time. So, how would you make sure that this can reach out to as much individuals as possible? Because, going with the political agenda, this is never going to come up to anyone's ears. And the government भी फिर हिंदू मुस्लिम का कुछ issue या फिर I don't know what it can come up with a new story or with a new circumstance to, to distract the general population. So how do you think we can keep a focus on these things?
It's important. Media are only important without that. So it's a more of it's a far bigger reflection on the current media scene in India than it is on the government or anyone else actually. It is for
कोई मानसून की बात कर नहीं रहा मैं सुपर फास्ट या कोई भी न्यूज़ देखता हूँ सब कोई इलेक्शंस Hindu Muslim Kerala story this that and that's all the how it ends and mostly there are like to and fro about इस नेता ने ये बोला इस साधु ने बोला इसने मौलवी ने ये बोला and this is how 50% of the news ends up, right? So how can we make sure that this can reach as far as possible?
I remember, say, about 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, even without realizing it, you can discuss.
We can do some clickbait about it and, make sure that it reaches as much as possible.
But I remember, 10, 12, 15 years ago, there would be the 9 o'clock news, the nightly debates would be much more meaningful, right? And there would be one or two anchors and they would also talk to reporters. There were reports, right, from ground reports. And serious topics were discussed. It was not about debates. So from, discussing easy stuff every night, it kind of, moved to debates, right? With no
nonsensical debate.
Yeah. And then it descended into shouting, endless shouting match. So we are seeing the gradual decline in the media scene. So it is for journalists to tell people what is important and what is not important. But I kind of, to be honest, this is easy what they show on TV every night. It's easy because it doesn't require money. Ground reports require money investment, research, and journalism is expensive. And what you get to see at 9 o'clock every night is not journalism. Clearly,
entertainment based.
Entertainment, I think, has a positive connotation. What you get to see is absolutely crap, right? Let's be very honest. There are people who are masquerading as journalists. There are people who are masquerading as experts, and the kind of people come on these shows. I think they also do not know about what's going on. They are spokespersons who perhaps the most,
So आप news industry से हैं, you are very much into this subject. So 161 क्यों rank कर रहे हैं out of 180 countries in journalism? Is it because of the news agencies, were they covering the agendas, or is it because of the government regulations? Why the way this?
I think the government doesn't agree with that.
Is it just a made-up number that is put more out there?
I don't know what are these parameters where
they would easily blame the West for for degrading our media and putting a black spot on it. Just as is the tendency now.
Yeah. Right. As you said, the government doesn't agree with that, and the government, according to the government, the media industry is doing already pretty well. It's independent. It does job.
It's expanding.
Yeah. So it's the relationship between media and government, irrespective of who is in power, is always adversarial. So it is up to media, barons or top editors to decide whether you want to take that route or you take an easy route and you cater to the lowest common denominator and indulge into shouting matches. Your prime time gets reduced to this absolutely absurd debates, or do you want to practice real journalism? I'm sure, if anyone wants to do that, they can. Obviously, there will be challenges, and there are challenges. being an editor or being a media baron is never very easy in any part of the world, right? You are in loggerheads with authorities all the time, be it India or any other country. So I think it's up to top editors and top media barons to decide what course the industry will take, should take.
So, you as an individual, आपके कुछ opinions होंगे that as journalist you cannot let out, or that you cannot let people know about. So how tough it is that as journalists to walk the straight path, walking the centric way, knowing that things could be more inclined towards left or right, and you have your own opinions, but you have to play that role of being a centric individual. So how do you tread that?
I think what you're talking about, you're not expressing your own opinion. Having your own opinion is great, actually. You can't say that I don't have an opinion. But is your opinion that important? If yes, maybe you should be a columnist. And there are editorials in newspapers, right? There are columns in newspapers, and editorials and columns have the views of the author. Why reporters should have their own views? They should have, by all means, but why a reader should care about a reporter's opinion? Why my opinion should matter? My job is to report as objectively as possible, report as factually as possible, put things in context, make it easier for people to understand by providing the right kind of context, put things in perspective, and let people decide. I don't think journalists' opinions matter a lot. They are experts. They are defense experts. They are finance experts. Right? I mean, they are political scientists. They have PhDs in politics. I think their opinions are far more important than journalists' opinions.
Fairly said. Now we have come full circle with demonetization. 2016 में जब नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने फर्स्ट टाइम demonetization अनाउंस किया था तो पूरे देश में भगदड़ मच गई थी. But this time अभी जब अनाउंस हो रहा है 2000 के नोट they are taken off from the banks, and there's a gradual decline in the usage as well.
Right.
So how do you look at it? I mean, it was marketed as a big step to curb black money and put all the parties into behind bars to be otherwise employment in an big sense, involved hash case where there were any moral values or other kind of employment. So how have you observed its
we have come a long way since then, actually, right? I mean, it happened long time back.
Yeah. So do you see the impact of that happening, what was projected initially, and has that realistically happened? And how do you see as the new change in this 2000 demonetization at the moment?
So undoubtedly, people were forced to, exchange their old currency notes, right? So the government might claim that, the biggest success of it is that it knows who are the guys who were sitting on heaps of...
I think your friend said that there's a microchip in that rupees note, and they're going to catch the culprits and criminals with that chip, and जब वो bundle करेंगे साथ में वो GPS से signal जाएगा. Are they your friends?
I haven't met them. I saw the clip on the not on the TV, but I think on social media.
आपके ऑफिस में ऐसे लोग थे जो ये believe कर रहे थे there would be chips in
not at all.
okay.
बिल्कुल ही नहीं. ऐसा हमें कोई भी क्लू नहीं था, और ऐसा कोई हमारा wild imagination भी नहीं था, because it's crazy, right? I mean, as you can understand, currency notes cannot...
People have so much belief that everything is possible.
Fantasy है यार,
So that is just fantastic to...
But that also highlights the importance of what journalists should speak or should not speak, and what they talk about and what they should not talk about. And when they speak on anything, they should, give some time to work on their P's and Q's. I mean, try to know the subject before you open your mouth.
I don't know, entertainment or education or content में क्या फर्क रह गया? It's the lines are very blurry nowadays.
So precisely, journalism was not intended as some sort of cheap entertainment.
So how do you think this 2000 note demonetization, how does this affect the economy in a larger sense?
Don't think so. It will affect in a big way, actually.
I mean, does it impact, does it increase the value of rupee in any particular sense in the market?
Yes, the use of black money in the real estate sector. We know actually it was there very rampant.
You heard it first.
But as all of us know, and the remarkable.
Well, we have this collar, it's first time we have somebody with a collar, and that's pretty interesting. So
It's not interesting at all. It's kind of, it's quite irritating actually. So perhaps I do not require it while I'm sitting.
you want to take it out?
No. Yeah, it will be better. It's okay. So,
Tell me a little bit about this spondylitis. What's going on?
so initially it looked like spondylitis, and the symptoms were like, spondylitis only, but it was not. It was far more than that. So I had to do a round of the orthopedic and neurosurgeons to get it examined. And after MRI scan, it was a case of the compressed nerve. So, and I had to undergo a surgical procedure to kind of to address the issue of pinched nerves. So I would call it a lifestyle disease, and we end up working a lot on.
We have an epitome of modern workforce, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
The desk and table generation that we have, it is the downside. So I hope we all have some measures to take care of ourselves.
yeah. I mean, maintaining right posture is important. Taking frequent breaks from your workstation is important.
Now, coming on to the fascination with India's gold. We all want to save in gold. We all want to invest in gold.
Right.
We all want to have as much gold as possible in our houses. So what is going on with gold at the moment in India?
Gold demand has dropped because of high prices, but it's just a blip. So rest assured, if you ignore these blips, India's demand and India's fascination with gold is not going to end.
How does having gold reserve impact the economy? Can you, help us understand the context of reliance on gold about the economy stuff?
The biggest impact I say is in terms of trade deficit. So if you import a lot, your trade deficit goes up, right? I mean the imbalance between your imports and exports. So that gets widened, right? So that's why the government tries to at times suggest that do not buy so much of gold, because if you curb gold purchases, you basically end up curbing your imports. So that is the biggest concern.
I think having gold in household is a really big asset as well, because we generally invest in very few things like houses. Gold are the two basic things people are mostly involved with, and I think it helps. It really helped during the pandemic. We were able to, not we, but a lot of folks were able to exchange out that available gold for loans and other kind of businesses that got stuck up. So it was really helpful during those.
It does actually, and that's why right from the buying, the basic idea behind gold, other than aesthetics and gold jewelry, is to kind of insulate yourself from inflation. If you buy gold today, you'll be sitting on an asset which will give you better returns, say a few years down the line. And as we have seen, gold prices have only gone up in the past few decades. So whenever people have that spare.
Whenever we look at the previous decade, we always say that wish I had purchased gold back then. You don't have
Counter psychology that drives gold demand in India. Also, like, if you see in weddings, people give gold to their daughters. So that's their way of ensuring or securing their future.
But it is said that the diamond, the markup and inflation in diamond prices is generally company made. However, diamonds are very commonly available. It's just that there are some types which are really marketed by companies in a fascinating way, just to make sure that diamonds are forever and they can just portray that in that way. Otherwise, gold is the standard that just keeps everything lined up on across
A
the...
hedge against inflation. That's the main job. And government has also last year only they raised import duty on gold to 12 what points from 7 points something, and that has continued also. So the other challenge is if you raise import duty, illegal imports go up. So you basically encourage people to pay taxes and bring in gold. So that's the other challenge of raising import duty.
We import almost 70% oils in India.
Precisely.
Precisely, right? So, usme se just to reduce the import and you have to make up more money for ourselves. So, what has been the change?
So we were talking about gold. Gold is the second biggest imported commodity, second biggest import bill after crude oil, and the third one is your cooking oil. And you know we are very fond of fried food, right?
Amazing.
We love it, right?
I was just thinking about the fried momos outside.
Right. And not steam momos,
Not steam momos, right?
fried momos. So you are one of the contributors to that consumption. Our consumption is going up because our population is going up, because income levels are going up. And talking about India's food, imported food commodities, edible oil is a big concern because in other staples like wheat, rice, and sugar, we are okay, we are all right. We have been exporting actually. But imports of edible oils have been going up every single year. We spend around $19 billion every year, and the Prime Minister has been talking about it, asking the farmers to raise oilseed production, and he has been expressing concerns about the huge outgo of foreign exchange. And India buys a lot of palm oil from Malaysia, Indonesia, and that also makes you dependent on only two countries, although India also imports sunflower and soya oil from Brazil, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, but primarily palm oil from these two countries, Malaysia and Indonesia.
These are topics that you're covering. These are slowly evolving topics. ये धीरे धीरे reality में आते हैं. You know, the longer term impact is much different from what we see, and the media is inclined towards short term news at the moment. So, do you sometimes get carried away with all the hustle happening around you, and you're going along with this, slow moving subjects that are treading?
No, it's fine. It's fine actually. So it also depends on. Media is when you say media, it involves everyone, right? Right from conventional print newspapers to TV channels, noisy ones, right? That we were talking about earlier. To us, news agencies. So you'll have clients for everyone. Perhaps I don't know whether there's a clientele for the noisy stuff that you get to see on TV, but it attracts more eyeball. Perhaps people may not take it seriously, but people end up watching it, and therefore TRPs and therefore those.
How to keep yourself away from this noise?
But for us, because luckily we are not dependent on advertisements, right? I mean, we subscribe to hardcore professionals who buy terminals and name
supported traffic channel.
It requires no one's support. It requires support from people who are willing to pay a premium for quality news.
Recently, there was an interesting change. Recently, the attack on Indian embassy in UK happened by the Khalistan supporters, and in retaliation, the Indian government built a toilet in front of the embassy of UK in Delhi. So, what kind of reporting was done? Yeah.
Toilet? I don't know about that. I'm sorry, actually.
Recently,
Security withdrawn, yes.
the security was withdrawn, and a public toilet project was initiated to be built up just in front of the UK embassy. So it was a major in the news, and it was coming up. So I'm not sure how much it's been built up, but I don't know if this.
No, when there were protests in London and when the security was withdrawn here, so I don't know. I remember crossing that roundabout where the British embassies. I did not get to see anything other than security forces not being around, or
I
perhaps.
did not look into the subject because I thought, it might be common to the agency that,
So protests, we did cover, and kind of brief diplomatic row.
okay, about
No discussion actually. We covered it as any professional media would cover it.
So any idea why is still UK in support of these kind of organization, and why are they still retaliating or holding back?
But there's a big the Indian diaspora there. There's a big Sikh community there, right? We do not know whether the government supports it. Don't know actually.
It has been clearly mentioned by the government. Actually, they have pretty much outlined and headlined that these are the organization which we are not supporting and considering.
I'm sure foreign ministries of the two countries and also intelligence agencies, they share notes, and they take
Must have taken some actions.
right.
All right, we'll just end up the discussion today on this note. What a pleasure it has been, and Mayank, it was an absolute honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I have been to Pilsel, Gurgaon, and GK. It's my first visit to this particular store. What a fabulous setup it is, and what a joy it was talking to you. Thanks so much.
It was absolutely likewise, and pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for joining in. It was a great episode. Hope you enjoyed, and see you till next time.
Take care.